Most people think retirement is simple. You work hard, you save money, you invest, and then one day you stop working and finally enjoy life. Sounds perfect, but Warren Buffett has warned for decades, directly and indirectly, that most people don't lose money because they picked the wrong stock or because they didn't save enough. They lose money because they retire without a real plan for the most dangerous part of retirement. What happens when markets fall and you still need income? And here's the uncomfortable truth. If you retire without doing this one thing, building a retirement plan that can survive a crash, you could run out of money faster than you ever imagined. Let's start with the reality. You've been working for 30, maybe 40 years. You've paid taxes, raised kids, paid off a mortgage, survived layoffs, recessions, inflation, medical bills, unexpected life moments, and through it all, you kept saving. You built a 401k, maybe an IRA. Maybe you have some money in a brokerage account. Maybe you've got a paid-off house or close to it, and now retirement is close, maybe 5 years, maybe 2. Maybe you're already thinking about picking a date. But Buffett would tell you something that will sound harsh, but it's true. Retirement is not the finish line. Retirement is the starting line of a new financial game, one where the rules are different. When you are working, you have an income engine. When the market drops, you don't panic as much because you're still getting paid. You keep contributing. You buy more shares at cheaper prices. That's how wealth is built. But in retirement, your income engine stops. You are no longer adding money. Now you're taking money out. And taking money out changes everything. It's like the difference between filling a bucket and draining a bucket. If you keep draining it during a storm, the bucket can empty faster than you expect. This is why Buffett focuses so heavily on behavior, discipline, and preparation. He knows the market will fall again. He doesn't guess when. He doesn't need to. He just knows it always happens because markets move in cycles. That means the question is not, will there be another crash? The question is, will you be ready when it happens? Because the retirement killer is not the crash itself. The retirement killer is the combination of 3 things that happen at the same time: a market drop, withdrawals, and panic. That trio destroys people. It's happened in 2000, it happened in 2008, it happened in 2020, and it will happen again. Now listen closely. If you retire without a plan that protects you from being forced to sell during a crash, you are gambling your future. And the painful part is, many people don't realize they're gambling. They think they're being normal investors. They think they're doing what everyone does. But retirement is not the time to copy what everyone does. It's the time to protect what you spent your entire life building. Let me make this real. Imagine 2 people retire with $1,000 each. Same savings, same lifestyle. Both need $50,000 a year from their portfolio to live because Social Security covers the rest. They both withdraw. The first person retires and immediately the market drops 30% within 12 months, like it has done before. Their $1,000 becomes $700,000, and then they take out $50,000 because they need to live. Now they're at $650,000. Meanwhile, the second person retires and the market goes up for the first few years, then crashes later. They withdraw too, but their portfolio grew first. Here's the wild part. Even if both portfolios get the same average return over 10 years, the first person can run out of money years earlier because the crash happened at the wrong time. This is called sequence of returns risk. It is one of the most important retirement concepts on earth, and most people have never even heard of it. Buffett doesn't use fancy words, but his entire philosophy is built to survive this reality. Protect the downside, stay rational, never put yourself in a position where you are forced to sell at the worst time. So what is the one thing you must do before you retire? Here it is. Build a crash-proof income strategy. Not a hope, not a guess. Not, I think the market will average 8%. No. A real strategy that answers this question. If the market drops 30% next year, how will I pay my bills without destroying my portfolio? Because that is the question that determines whether you will have a safe retirement or a stressful one. And this is where most retirees fail. They retire with a portfolio but no income plan. They retire with investments but no protection plan. They retire with optimism but no rules. And when the market falls, and it will, they react emotionally. They sell at the bottom, they stop investing, they lock in losses. They do exactly what Buffett tells people never to do. They let fear control the decision. Let's talk about the biggest retirement lie. People tell themselves, I'll be conservative when I retire. But what does that even mean? Conservative compared to what? Many retirees still have 70% to 90% of their money in stocks because that's what worked during the growth years. It felt good when the market kept rising. But near retirement, that's like driving 100 miles per hour in the rain because it was sunny yesterday. It doesn't matter what happened yesterday, it matters what could happen next. Buffett has always said risk is not volatility. Risk is the chance of permanent loss. And in retirement, the biggest permanent loss isn't a red day on the stock chart. It's selling during a crash because you need cash. So let's break down what Buffett would likely tell you to do before you retire in simple steps you can actually use. First, you must know your numbers, not your guesses, not your hopes, your real numbers. How much do you spend per month? Track it for 90 days, every dollar, mortgage or rent, property taxes, utilities, groceries, gas, restaurants, subscriptions, travel, gifts, insurance, medical, everything. Because most people underestimate spending by 20% to 40%. And when you retire, spending doesn't always drop. In fact, for many people, spending goes up because you finally have time to live. More travel, more activities, more eating out, more hobbies, more home repairs, plus healthcare. So get your real annual cost of living. Then add a buffer. Then and only then do you calculate how much income you need. Second, lock in guaranteed income where it makes sense. Buffett loves predictable cash flow. That's why he buys businesses that generate consistent earnings. Retirement should be the same. Social Security is one income stream. If you're married, planning Social Security correctly can be the difference between comfort and struggle. Taking it at 62 reduces your benefit permanently. Waiting increases it. If you're healthy and you can afford to wait, delaying Social Security, especially for the higher earner, can protect the household because the surviving spouse typically keeps the higher check. That one decision can be worth hundreds of thousands over a lifetime. Third, build your cash runway. This is the heart of the crash-proof strategy. You need money that is not dependent on the stock market to survive the next downturn. Because if you can cover your expenses without selling stocks at the bottom, you win. It's that simple. A smart retirement plan typically includes a cash bucket or safe bucket, 12 to 24 months of expenses in cash, money market, short-term CDs, short-term treasuries, or other low-volatility assets. Some people prefer 2 to 3 years depending on risk tolerance. The purpose isn't to get rich. The purpose is to keep you from making the worst mistake possible, selling investments at the worst possible time. Think of this bucket like a fire extinguisher. You don't buy a fire extinguisher because you hope for a fire. You buy it because you know emergencies can happen. Retirement without a cash runway is like owning a house with no fire extinguisher, no insurance, and no plan. Fourth, rebalance the portfolio based on retirement reality, not ego. Buffett can handle market drops because he doesn't need to sell. He has long time horizons and massive cash flow. You don't have that luxury when you're withdrawing, so you have to set a retirement allocation that matches your withdrawal needs. Many people near retirement should reduce stock exposure. Not to zero. Stocks are still important for growth and inflation protection, but enough to reduce the chance of catastrophic timing. A balanced allocation is different for every person, but what matters is this: your plan must survive a bad decade, not just a good year. Fifth, create withdrawal rules before you retire, not after. This is huge. Most people retire and say, we'll just take money out as needed. That's not a strategy. That's dangerous. Buffett would tell you, run your finances like a business. A business doesn't just randomly spend. It has a budget, reserves, and contingency plans. You need withdrawal rules like, if the market is down 20% plus, we reduce discretionary spending, or we withdraw from cash bucket during downturns, or we only sell stocks when the market is above a moving average, or we maintain a minimum cash level. The point isn't perfection. The point is discipline. Discipline keeps you alive in retirement. Sixth, prepare for health care like it's a real bill, because it is. This is where many retirements bleed out. People plan for groceries and travel but ignore health care costs. Medicare begins at 65. If you retire at 62, what is your plan for 3 years? Private insurance can be expensive. After Medicare, you still have premiums, deductibles, prescriptions, dental, vision, hearing, and the biggest monster of all, long-term care. A nursing home can cost thousands per month. Assisted living can cost thousands. Even part-time home care adds up fast. If your retirement plan ignores long-term care risk, it's incomplete. Seventh, fix your taxes before retirement, not during retirement. Taxes can destroy cash flow. If all your money is in traditional 401ks and IRAs, every withdrawal is taxable income. Then at a certain age, RMDs kick in and force larger withdrawals, pushing you into higher tax brackets, increasing Medicare premiums, and causing more Social Security to be taxed. Smart retirees often plan Roth conversions in lower income years to manage future taxes. This can reduce taxes dramatically over time. And finally, the most Buffett thing of all, prepare emotionally. Buffett's superpower is not IQ, it's temperament. He stays calm when others panic, and that's what retirees must learn. You must accept that markets fall. You must accept that headlines will be scary. You must accept that fear will show up, and you must decide now, I will not panic sell. Write it down. Make it a rule, because panic selling is the retirement killer. Let me say that again. Panic selling destroys retirement, not inflation, not volatility, not even a crash. It's the decision you make in the crash that determines everything. And here's why this title is true. If you retire without doing this, you could run out of money fast. Because if you retire without a crash-proof income strategy, you will be forced to withdraw from stocks when they are down. That drains the portfolio like a leak that never stops. You think you're withdrawing 4%, but when the market falls, the withdrawal rate becomes much higher. Pulling $50,000 out of a $1,000 portfolio is 5%. But pulling $50,000 out of a $700,000 portfolio after a crash is over 7%. That's the danger. That's how people run out of money, and it happens quietly, slowly, then suddenly. 1 year you're fine. Then 5 years later you realize the portfolio isn't recovering the same. You start cutting travel. You start worrying, and the fear comes back. Buffett would tell you, build a plan that makes you sleep at night, not a plan that looks impressive on paper. If your plan depends on the market never dropping at the wrong time, you don't have a plan, you have a wish. Now I want to give you a simple Buffett-style retirement blueprint you can use right now. Step 1, write down your monthly expenses and your annual expenses. Step 2, calculate guaranteed income, Social Security, pensions, annuities, if you have them. Step 3, calculate the gap, the amount your portfolio must provide. Step 4, build a cash runway of at least 12 months, preferably 18 to 24, to cover that gap plus emergencies. Step 5, rebalance portfolio so you can survive a crash without panic. Step 6, set withdrawal rules. Step 7, stress test, market down 30% year 1, inflation high, long life medical costs. If your plan survives, you're strong. If it breaks, adjust before you retire. That is the do this in the title. It's not one trick, it's one mission. Do not retire without a plan that survives the next crash, because the next crash is not a maybe, it's a when. People always ask, should I retire now or wait? The real question is, can your plan handle the market falling 30%? If yes, retire with confidence. If no, fix the plan first. Delay if needed. Save more. Reduce spending, build a bigger safety bucket, adjust lifestyle, do the hard work now because retirement is too important to gamble with. And look, this isn't meant to scare you. This is meant to wake you up. Because here's the good news. Retirement mistakes are preventable. You can fix them before it's too late. The people who suffer the most are not the people with small portfolios. It's the people with big portfolios and no strategy. They assumed money alone was enough. It's not. Strategy matters, behavior matters, planning matters. Buffett became Buffett because he thinks ahead. He prepares for bad times during good times. That's what you must do now. So if you're retiring in the next 5 years, here's your assignment. In the next 60 days, build your crash plan, build your cash runway, set your rules, rebalance your risk, review Social Security timing, review healthcare, review taxes, stress test everything. Do not wait, because once a crash happens, emotions take over, and it's harder to fix mistakes then. Prepare now, and you'll be one of the few people who stays calm when the next crash hits. And that is the ultimate retirement advantage. Calm confidence. Not fear, not panic, not guessing. Calm confidence. Because you already did what Buffett would do. You prepared before the storm. If this video helped you, save it. Watch it again. And share it with someone who is retiring soon. Because one conversation could save them from years of regret. And if you want more straight-talk retirement planning the way Buffett would think about it, subscribe, because the biggest goal is simple. You work too hard to run out of money fast.